Hello everyone, I am Walt, and here we are covering a kind of a heuristic section here of internet psychology when it comes to decision making in unit number 10, which is all about decision making, as I just said. Thanks a lot, chickens. Okay, so let's dive on into this topic, heuristics. So what are these? These are things that bias people's thinkings. These are mental shortcuts for how people make decisions and things you can exploit on the internet. So when it comes to marketing and exploitation, this is your kind of area. So we have three main heuristics to cover in this video here. These three heuristics include the representative heuristic, okay? And then, of course, the availability heuristic, and then, of course, the anchoring and adjustment heuristic. Nature, you're so fun. Okay, anyway. So, what are these different heuristics? What are they all about? How does this all work? Okay, so, first off, the representative heuristic, okay? This is kind of one you might call a stereotype, heuristic. So when people think of things, they think based on stereotypes and not based on numbers. For example, this was proven in a study that showed a theoretical town where everybody is either a professor or a truck driver. I know, realistic, huh? So you're either a professor or you're a truck driver, but this town has 90% truck drivers and 10% professors. So then they give descriptions to people. Is it a, professor or a truck driver? We go through examples of people who like to work with their hands and, like to support their local football team. We got somebody else who's wearing a tweed coat and likes to, smoke the corncob pipe and stuff, and so basically they go through 10 different examples. I can even link up the example for you guys, I believe, in the description there. And yeah, this is just kind of how it goes. So you have these different descriptions, and people basically at the end of it say that 5 of these people are professors and 5 of them are truck drivers at the end of this kind of example with the representative heuristic. Well, this heuristic has once again steered this person wrong because, as we know, we have 90% are truck drivers and 10% are professors. Thus, if we have, an accurate sample, which is pretty guessable in this case, then, 4 of the people they've said are professors actually should be truck drivers. So people kind of overlook numbers in order to have their stereotypes play out. That's often because the human brain is not always great at thinking numbers first. It tends to want to think belief and ideas and faith and things before numbers. So something to build some beliefs to deal with, which I've talked a little bit about with my trading in the zone kind of material and with the fixing of a lot of mental attitude stuff over on my self-help material. So check any of that stuff out if you guys would like. Otherwise, back to the main points. Yep. Okay, so yes, that's the representative heuristic. People relying on stereotypical stuff instead of relying on, numbers. So as the truck driver and professor example well illustrates. Next one, we have the availability heuristic. This one is a heuristic all about what people are exposed to. So if you have people read an article about winning the lottery, and you have somebody else read an article about, being bitten by a shark, then people who have read the bitten by a shark article feel like they are more likely to get bitten by a shark than they actually are, They might say their odds are like really high when actually getting bitten by a shark is really low. Chicken, stop ruining my audio. Anyway, got a lot of fun of dealing with all this stuff out here. Comes to audio quality. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, okay. Availability heuristic, shark bite. Yes, this also happens to the person who thinks, about winning the lottery. If you read the article about winning the lottery, your odds are basically that you're going to guess higher odds than you actually have, because it's information that was available. So what's available basically still in your head there and biases your thinking. This can also be interesting in a number of other cases when it comes to a study about teenagers who are exposed to, their peers who are, pictures of their peers on Facebook who are drinking alcohol. Then they think that more of their friends are drinking alcohol than actually are. And as we know from some of our alcohol EDU education, people also overestimate the number of drinks that people actually tend to have. Anyway, interesting stuff over there. But this also applies to people on vacation, a maybe less sensitive topic. If somebody, sees their friends on vacation, they're more likely to think that, you know, like more people are on vacation than actually are and stuff. So people are biased by this information they're given. This is also why a lot of polarized news is very successful, because you can say, here's this rare example, and then people are like, oh, that's got to be happening everywhere. No, it's a rare example. But the news likes to point it out and bias everything in that direction to make people fearful. If it bleeds, it leads, as the whole thing goes. And that's basically just based on the availability heuristic. So that explains a lot of how you convince people of things. If you can give them available evidence, they like to bite onto it. So if you want to get into being able to market your stuff better, use these heuristics, of course. Representative is a biggie there, okay? You want to give people things that are going to be stereotypical, things they want to see, basically, and they'll overlook some of the numbers. If you want, of course, to have them, you know, do this with the availability heuristic, give them an available example. Look, this guy made $1 million. That could be you. People fall for that crap all the time. It's hilarious. When you can just look at the overall number of people who succeeded with this thing versus not, and you're like, no, that's not the number at all. But the availability heuristic is hardwired into us, so what you gonna do, right? Anyway, the final heuristic I wanted to go through is the anchoring and adjustment heuristic covered in this one. And this one is simply the idea that when it comes to anchoring, when it comes to adjustment, it is all simply, you know, a matter of how you can get people to latch on to certain numbers and facts that you give them and adjust off of that. For example, one of the given ones in the professor's lecture for this course was about how if somebody says you have 120,000 hairs, you know, like the average person has 120,000 hairs, how many hairs do you think you do? People tend to bias their numbers off of that. They might say, I got 14,000 or I got 140,000. Versus if you just might ask them how many hairs you got, somebody might say 80,000 or 50,000. See, people tend to latch on to a number you give them and then adjust it, whether that number is correct or not. This was well shown in an economic example of a textbook deal where you had a deal for an online textbook for $59, an online, a print edition of this textbook for $125, and a print and online edition also for $125. 3 different options. And so people tended to say that the third one, the $125 that was text and, of course, you know, online material, was the better deal. It's certainly a better deal than just the text version, isn't it? Because you have the online version and the text version. So if you combine those two, you know, what is that? Like an $85 value, $185 value kind of thing, put it together. Okay, chickens. So anyway, people think that's the better deal. But if, say, we were to take away that middle example of the $125 value of a textbook, you know, that was just the text version, you say, okay, you can have the $59 value, or you can have, you know, the $125 value that has the text and online version. People will pick the online version because you see people latch on to the middle example, the 125 that is the text only version, and they anchor and adjust off of that. But if you get rid of that, they no longer use that heuristic. So once again, if you want to use these heuristics in your marketing and skills, representative is a biggie, okay? So you just want to latch on to what people want to hear, what kind of stereotypes you can exploit, you know, in terms of this thing working, or I have to trust this source, whatever. You want to latch onto that. If you want to nail down the availability one, a huge one, that is what the media really affects, you know, properly, you need to give people available evidence to support your stuff and not to support, you know, other things. You want to give examples of things and, you know, just have those examples bias the people's thinking slightly. Hey, kitty. Hey, chicken. How's it going? Run away. Nature, so fun. Anyway, then finally, of course, anchoring and adjustment. Give people things to anchor off of and adjust with. So if you say that this thing is, you know, super high value, like, then people will, you know, anchor and adjust off of that being normal, even if it's not the normal price, assuming they're not price shopping around. Anyway, These are all useful heuristics in terms of your marketing, your skills in business and stuff like that, but they're also interesting when it comes to your own psychology when you're on the internet, realizing that some people are often messing with you when it comes to the available evidence they're giving you. They're exploiting your stereotypes and, of course, anchoring and adjusting off of values they can be giving you. So watch out for that stuff, and if you want to put it to use on your own marketing front, be my guest. You know, use it morally and use it for good causes and stuff. But yeah, anyway, it's cool stuff, I'll say that for sure. So, thank you guys for watching. We are wrapping up Unit 10 here, and I will see you guys next time with the finale. So, see you soon. Bye.